Sandy Steinman here, President of Background Checks Express, your one-stop source for accessible, accurate, and affordable background checking. Last week, we examined why you should be concerned about complying with the Fair Credit Reporting Act in your pre-employment background checking, and we decided that we sure didn't want to fall into the same trap that companies like Whole Foods and Kmart and O'Reilly Auto Parts have fallen into, which has cost them or will cost them millions of dollars. So today we're going to begin to examine exactly what we have to do in order to be FCRA compliant. The first step is really pretty simple. It's called employer certification. And basically, before ordering any background checks, the employer must first certify in writing to the Consumer Reporting Agency that it will follow all the steps set out in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And those steps are that they'll use the information for employment purposes only, which is provided for under the Act. And they agree that they will not use the information in violation of any federal or state equal opportunity law. And they agree to obtain all necessary disclosures and consents as required by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And they agree to give the required notices in the event an adverse action is taken against an applicant, in part or in whole as a result of the contents of the consumer report. And let me just give you my view of adverse notice. If you're going to take an adverse action, in other words, if you're not going to hire the applicant, regardless of whether or not there's information contained in the report that helps you make that decision, send a pre-adverse notice, send a final adverse notice. Don't leave yourself subject to some kind of lawsuit just because people think there's an opportunity. This is easy to take care of. And finally, they will give additional information required by the law if an investigative consumer report is needed. And we'll discuss what an investigative consumer report is later on. But next week, we'll examine the second step in compliance, which is the written release and disclosure. And this is a biggie. You don't want to miss this. This will keep you out of trouble. If you're an employer, I hope you'll follow this series of videos, because what you learn here could well keep you out of court, and that's our mission. If you have any questions at all about the Fair Credit Reporting Act or anything else related to safe hiring, just feel free to call me at 844-SCREEN-NOW. That's 844-727-3366. And I promise, I'll answer your question. You don't have to do business with me. I hope you do. But get the information you need. In the meanwhile, be safe, hire safe, and I'll see you in the next video.